Islamist double killer who took a prison officer hostage has won a court case on human rights grounds.
2 convicted killers have been awarded significant compensation following rulings that their human rights were breached while serving prison sentences in the UK. Court documents confirm that one Islamist prisoner who had previously held a prison officer hostage was awarded £240,000 after suffering severe depression due to prolonged solitary confinement. Another double murderer received £7,500 in compensation for breaches of his human rights while incarcerated. The cases have sparked widespread public and political outrage, with critics questioning the fairness of taxpayer-funded payouts to individuals convicted of serious crimes. The Ministry of Justice acknowledged the rulings, stating, "The UK is bound by its legal obligations under the Human Rights Act. Compensation is awarded only where courts find clear breaches of rights, and we continue to review prison practices to ensure lawful treatment of inmates." The decision has provoked strong criticism from politicians. Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy condemned the payouts, saying, "It is a sick joke that taxpayers are footing the bill for Islamist killers and double murderers. This undermines public confidence in the justice system." The story of Fouad Awali, a convicted double murderer serving a life sentence in the United Kingdom, has reignited fierce debate about the balance between justice, public safety, and human rights. Awale, originally from Milton Keynes, was just 25 years old when he carried out the calculated execution-style killings of 2 teenagers, Abdi Farah and Amin Ahmed Ismail, in 2011. Both victims were shot in the head during a dispute linked to drugs. For this crime, Awale was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 38 years. Years into his sentence, Awale's name resurfaced in headlines after he was awarded £240,000 in taxpayer-funded compensation and legal costs. The award followed a High Court ruling that his prolonged solitary confinement breached his human rights. Awale had been placed in a special separation unit after he and another inmate ambushed a prison officer, held him hostage, and demanded the release of radical preacher Abu Qatada. Authorities argued that segregation was necessary to prevent him from harming staff and radicalizing other prisoners. Awale, however, claimed that the isolation caused him severe depression and anxiety, and his lawyers invoked Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights, EC8R, to argue that his treatment violated his rights. The ruling was approved by Justice Secretary David Lammy, who confirmed the settlement. The UK is bound by its legal obligations under the Human Rights Act. Compensation is awarded only where courts find clear breaches of rights, and we continue to review prison practices to ensure lawful treatment of inmates. The settlement included £7,500 in direct compensation to Awale and £234,000 in legal costs, bringing the total to £241,500. The decision immediately provoked outrage across the political spectrum. Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick condemned the payout, saying, "This is a sick joke. Emergency legislation is needed to exempt such cases from ECHR constraints." Critics argue that the ruling undermines public confidence in the justice system, particularly given Awale's violent history and his role in threatening prison staff. The case also highlighted the tension between maintaining prison security and adhering to international human rights standards. Officials stressed that segregation policies are designed to protect both staff and inmates, but courts have increasingly scrutinized the psychological impact of prolonged isolation. The controversy has also sparked broader debate about the role of the European Convention on Human Rights in UK law. Some politicians have called for reforms to prevent convicted terrorists and murderers from claiming compensation under human rights legislation. Others argue that the UK must uphold its international obligations, even when dealing with dangerous offenders, to maintain credibility as a nation committed to the rule of law. A Wales case is not isolated. Similar claims have been made by other prisoners alleging mistreatment or unlawful segregation. Legal experts note that while compensation awards are rare, they reflect the court's willingness to enforce human rights protections even in the most difficult cases. The Ministry of Justice has pledged to review prison practices to ensure compliance with legal standards while maintaining safety. For the public, the case has become a flashpoint in the ongoing debate about justice, fairness and accountability. On one side are those who believe that convicted killers should not benefit from taxpayer-funded payouts. On the other are those who argue that human rights must apply universally, even to those who have committed the most heinous crimes. The controversy surrounding prisoner compensation in the United Kingdom has become a lightning rod for wider debates about justice, immigration and public safety. The case of Fuad Awali, a convicted double murderer who received more than £240,000 in compensation and legal costs after a High Court ruling on his solitary confinement, has been described by officials as a test of the country's commitment to human rights law. Yet it has also reignited political arguments about how the UK manages crime linked to foreign nationals and the broader pressures of immigration. According to Home Office statistics on foreign national offenders, thousands of foreign nationals are convicted of crimes in the UK each year, ranging from minor offences to serious, violent crimes. The government has made deportation a priority. In August 2025, Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood announced new powers. Foreign criminals will for the first time face immediate deportation after sentencing. This will save money for taxpayers and protect the public from dangerous offenders. The scale of enforcement was highlighted by the Prime Minister's office in March 2025, when Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer confirmed, "We have returned more than 24,000 individuals with no right to be in the UK since the general election, the highest returns rate for 8 years. The National Crime Agency, NCA, has also warned about organised immigration crime. Its 2025 threat assessment reported that small boat crossings remain the most detected method of irregular entry, with 36,816 arrivals in 2024, a 25% increase compared to 2023. The NCA noted that criminal gangs are exploiting migrants for profit, often using dangerous tactics that put lives at risk. In Parliament, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper stressed the link between border security and crime prevention. Border security is fundamental to both national and economic security. Threats to the UK from serious and organised crime, including organised immigration crime, are rapidly evolving. The first duty of government is to protect its citizens. These official statements illustrate the government's dual challenge, managing dangerous offenders already in custody while tackling organised crime linked to irregular migration. Deportation policies have been strengthened, but critics argue that appeals under the Human Rights Act often delay removals. Supporters of reform insist that the law must be changed to prevent convicted criminals from exploiting human rights protections. The debate is not only legal, but moral. Should convicted killers like a whale benefit from taxpayer-funded compensation? Should foreign nationals who commit serious crimes be allowed to remain in the UK? Officials are divided, but the government's recent actions, immediate deportation powers, increased returns and new treaties with France, suggest a hardening stance.